And today I would like to introduce you Oana Juncu. Oana has over 15 years of experience in software development and system management. And she started her own company that helps its clients to embrace agility and build products that matters through lean startup. And I know that Oana also participates actively in Agile French and international community. And she strongly believes that connection knowledge is a value generator. Is that correct?
Yes. Thank you, Leonard.
Yeah. Okay. So, what about the presentation? So the changes are the part of our lives, and the speed and amount of those changes is increasing. And some of us tend to flow with the change. Some of us might are choosing to resist the change, and some of us like to be on top of the change and drive it, but not to get lost and how to succeed with the transformation. I hope Oana will help us to find the answers. Oana Juncu, change the perspective on change. Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for to Inge, and all the organizers to having me with you. Thank you to all the participants that are here in this session for your interest. And thank you for presenting me. What I love to call myself also is that I'm an Agile business and leadership DJ that mixes whatever practices from system coaching to Agile to product innovation. And you mentioned Lean Startup and leadership coaching and change models. So whatever practices and models make people and individuals and teams proud of their outcome. So that's the way that I like to call myself. So now let me just introduce the topic, change the perspective of change. Change is, as I'm myself a change agent, or I'm called within the companies to support their change as change agents. I made a lot of reflection of how can we model change, or what does change mean, or when we are adopting change, what does that really mean, and what's the motivation of people to embrace change? And the first thing that I want to present you today, because what I will present is a specific model. I will talk about it a little bit later, but it's something that it's really a basic truth for us, for me, is that organizations are living systems. They emerge, they grow, they decline and die, just like every living system. It's not a linear programmed robot. No organization is a programmed robot. So having that in thought, that organizations are living systems, embracing change, or how to say, accepting that an organization setup is ready or should decline and die is very hard. To embrace change, what to say, okay, we will plan a change, and because our brain has this a tendency to control future. Why do you think that our brain has a tendency to control future? I don't know if there's any comment in the Hua platform, but I would like to just open this question. Why do you think that our brain likes to control change? So if there's no comment in the chat yet, my understanding of this phenomenon is that change is unknown, and our brain is unknown and uncertainty adverse, because uncertainty means threat, and threat means dying. So all the behaviors of survival are triggered when we embrace a change program. And well, what our brain does that I would like to control change is, let's make change linear. So, okay, I have a goal, which is B, and I know that today I'm in A. And we would love that change is on this line. Unfortunately, change doesn't go on a line. On a change, we need to co-initiate the change together, have a purpose to change. Then go back to the bottom of what is the bottom of the old, and change the perspective. So get rid of our behaviors, our beliefs. That's a very hard thing to do. And face the void, and at the bottom is the void. Stay present with the void and see then what emerges from that void to co-evolve towards something new. So this is one of the curves of the change, inspired by the theory U, by the way. And this is something that is more hard to embrace, this idea that I'm not going from A to B on a given path, but I need to let go some of my own beliefs. And what is the important thing is to be present in that moment where I let go of the old, but there's nothing yet. This is a very difficult, frightening moment. And this is also the moment where usually we run back on the left side of this curve, because we want to get back to something we know, even if we are also aware that it's not something that is part of our aspiration. Because we are in an Agile conference, I've asked this question to the community, and these are there was a poll on Wheatley, so thank you to everyone that answered the question. And the question was, in an Agile journey adoption, what do you think is needed to be changed first? And the first answer, so in the cloud of words, was attitude. Now I wonder, what do you think? Whose attitude? Did you ever think that it might be my own attitude? There's your attitude also. Now this is one of the other challenges in change, is that we kind of think that we are already changed, and now we have expectations that other people change. So, people, mindset, leaders, attitude. Well, attitude, I don't know, it's attitude. But my open question to you is, whose attitude do you think that is? Is it mine own attitude? So this was a little bit of an introduction of the change and the challenges of change. And the challenges I also, on a daily basis, I encountered, that I've taken, that I had to do also working on myself, saying as a change agent, actually, I might need to change my own attitude to help people embrace change. It's not, I won't lecture people about the new paradigms and models. I also need to have a different attitude. And one of the most helpful model that I used, and I wanted to share it with you, is the model of 2 loops of change by Margaret Wheatley and Deborah Frieze from Barkana Institute. And what does this model say, basically, is that there's a dominant system in place, and then in the dominant system, there's an emerging system that wants to evolve. So the dominant system, it might be at the peak. It's what is called the normality, today's normality, and the emerging, it's all where even innovations happens. And let's zoom a little bit on the dominant. So the emerging is, you know, that it's this curve that I just described. So let's zoom a little bit on the dominant. When we are in a dominant system, one of the conversation we might have is, where are we right now in a dominant system? If we are in a top-down hierarchical model of organization, where are we here? Are we at the beginning? Are we at the peak? Is it a normality, or is it dying? Because in the dominant system, the three elements that we can that are defined are the rise of a system, the peak, and the decay. And at the peak, one of the behaviors of the system is that we have a delusional sense of permanence. And this is where the people say that we already done it like this. And we can't figure that we can do it in a different way. And one of the examples could be banks and cryptocurrency. And when banks, before the cryptocurrency, and when it started, banks wouldn't consider it. It was, and tried also, the dominant system tends to defend itself by attacking the new. So one of the thing is that the dominant system may attack the innovators and pioneers as being out of the law. This is one of another symptom, and I hope you can make some relation with your own day-to-day work. So in the dominant system, what happens really at this moment of peak zones, that there are these pioneers and innovators and that come with new things, but they can be in this. There are what we call weak signs. So people come with new ideas, new innovations, and they are not also maybe are not correlated together. What happens afterwards in the transition is that these pioneers start to connect and create a stronger community and attract a new community. So it's the idea of creating a community of practice. And in this moment, what is important as a change agent is to name those communities, help them connect, help them nourish themselves so they can have enough force and energy to start the new transformation. And this is now at this moment in my presentation, what I would like you to do, and thank you, Leonard, to help me with that, is to connect in triads, in breakout rooms, and try to answer this 4 questions. What is the change that you want to see in your professional environment? Who are the tribe of pioneers that you think that are accelerators of change? What can you do, or you already do, that help these pioneers connect so they become stronger? And what are the ways that you can help them nourish themselves? The question is, how can you nourish them? But a more powerful way is that how can you hold the space for them so they can nourish among themselves? Is that okay?
Hmm?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm Robertus.
Yeah.
And yes. So the rooms will be created, and the rooms will be for 6 minutes.
For 6 minutes. I know it's not a long time. Try to exchange for six minutes, and then we can come back. And feel free to put your findings in the chat, the Whoa chat, if it's possible.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the rooms are starting.
Okay. Thank you. Am I also in a room?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I hope it's okay.
Okay. So I'm with 2 other people?
Yes.
Okay. So what means stop and join? Because I have a
join means that you should, by pressing join, you join the breakout room.
I know that, but it's stop and join. It means that I stop sharing the screen, probably.
Yeah, most probably.
Probably.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, okay. Then I'll join.
Sorry, Oana, you are muted.
I'm muted. Yeah, I'm muted.
Yeah, okay, now we can hear you.
Yeah,
I hope you had a good time on the breakout rooms.
Well, I hope so. So I don't know if people want to chat about how it was in the breakout rooms, and I don't know if they can unmute themselves or not. And everyone wants to share something. I will just go and share the next of the exercise. What it's really, if the idea is you a change agent, is what is the change that you want to see? Either if you are a consultant, what do you want for your clients? Or if you are an internal change agent, what do you want? What is your aspiration for your organization? And try to detect what are the tribes of pioneers, who are the people that are willing to, that are already doing things. You know, it's not only about proposing new things. It's not only on you as a pioneer. It's as a change agent, detect who are people that are already changes, and you at their service. This is the idea. How can you help them connect, and how can you help them nourish themselves? One of the things that I'm doing is organizing open spaces with my clients, where people, you know, the right people are the good people that come, and they can connect and inspire themselves. And I'm just holding the open space. So this is how you can start to get the community of pioneers stronger. In the same team, the same time, what I would like to share with you is watch the gap. There are always forms of resistance, and you know that are forms of resistance. When a dominant system is rising, there are people that are stewarding that system, and they are still loyal to that system. And even if at a certain moment they are kind of aware that the system should change, what happens is that something new is copied on the base of the old logic. And these are all the fake pioneers aligned on the dominant system, on the peak, saying that we are already changing. But as I've told you, in the second slide, a dominant system has, even I say, the unconscious tendency, because I think there's a collective unconsciousness of the system, to defend the status quo. Please always bear that in mind, that a system has a tendency to defend itself. So it won't embrace change. Even from a verbal point of view, they do that. There can be conversation about how do we change? Is change an evolution, or is change disruptive? The two loops model says that it's more a disruptive thing. It's that the new system emerges from in the dominant system because there are new needs and new sides, and it will build a new system that, by having this gap that is that I'm showing here on the screen.
Sorry, Oana, yes. 30 minutes passed and we have 15 minutes left.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so from what is it? From connection to pattern. So if you create a coherent pattern of organization, the idea of these new pioneers is to create something that really holds them together, that they can share. And because they can have a lot of different initiatives, what is important and powerful is that they can have a shared cause. Okay, they are innovators. Can they work together in a coherent way for a new cause. And some of other roles in the dominant system, and you can have those, see those roles, there are protectors that know that they are part of the dominant system, and they want to protect this new groups to rise. So this is, as a change agent, my invitation to you is to always see what are the protectors of the new, who are your allies. And then when that is coherent, really the new emerging change can rise. Well, but that is not that simple. Complexity expresses itself at intersection, and all this way can be really chaotic, a chaotic way. As I've told you on my first slide, the courage of change is to stay in the chaos and see what are these new patterns that I've just told you. Because if not, everything is super complex and the model won't be linear. Now, the last point, and we might not have time to do the exercise, but I will show you the exercise in the breakout rooms, is also caring. Something very important is caring for the dying system. So the dominant system that needs to die and will resist needs caring. It's like a metaphor of elderly people. Needs to have compassion for those that are in the dominant system and have their behaviors and the references and the beliefs in that dominant system. And as a change agent, one of the roles are really important is to compassionately hospice these people and also illuminate for them the new path that I said so they can trustfully go on toward the new system. And if there's something important as a message I want to send you in this moment is that getting rid of the people that because they don't get it won't happen. They have because their role and let's say their life depends on what they were in the dominant system. So if we don't have compassion for them, they will resist and they will fight, and there will be frustration, and then there will be sufferance for both sides. They suffer and you will suffer also. So the question, and I won't do it because I'm a little bit over time here, is how my open question is how do we provide care and compassion to the dying system as change agents? And I will, and the two model system says that we, as I told you, this is just a summary of it, is we need to protect the new and find the protectors. We take care and hospice the people from the dominant system so they can cross the threshold. And for doing so, what is important is to illuminate their path. And the exercise I will put in the chat. We won't do the exercise because it will be over time. These questions that you can take with you, and I can also put them in the chat, is what do you, as if you have experience in a changing journey, a journey toward Agile, what are in the dominant system the protectors of the pioneers that you can see today? What are the action of compassion on these people that you can put in place so they don't feel threatened? Or very often we say that the managers are the problem, but the managers created their value in the dominant system. So if we just say, tell them that they are the problem, as people, no one as a human being can hear that. That's unbearable. No one wants to hear, I'm the problem, I need to be removed. this is very frustrating. So what actions of compassion can we do? And what are the ways that you can illuminate and amplify the pioneers' work so that the people that are in the dominant system can be willing to engage to that new path, create that trust between the old and the new, so that the old can transform. So we won't do that in the breakout rooms. And I just wanted to, yeah, brilliant. I'll have the 10 minutes. I just wanted to finish my my presentation today with this quote, which is very dear to me, is that this is really the pattern and the history of all innovation and all change, is that all through passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculized. It's I said that this can't be true. This would never work. Second is violently opposed, because, you know, all these pioneers come together and the dominant system is threatened. So it's violently opposed. And this group of pioneers are, as I said, considered like outlaws. This is the violent reaction of the dominant system. And third is when they pass through the stage and the new is adopted, the third stage is accepted as being self-evident. And the new system is the new dominant system. And this is a quote from Schopenhauer that I wanted to share with you. And thank you. If you want to know more about the model, how I use it as a change, connect with me. You can go on my site, coemerge.com. I'm giving training on the two loops model, and now I'm open to your questions. We have about...
All right. Yes, so we have 6 minutes, and thanks, Oana. And yeah, I would like to encourage everyone, if you have any questions, please post them on Q&A section on Wheatley. And yeah, meanwhile, can I start with a question?
Of course.
So, Oana, from your experience, what would be, I don't know, maybe the most strange case of the old dominant system resistance? And maybe also you could share what were the ways to handle it.
So can you? I think that I heard that you had your observation or not, but I didn't really quite get the question in your.
So the question is, what would be the most strange case of resistance of old dominant system you faced, you met, you?
Well, for me, the most strange, I don't know if it's strange, but the hardest to cope with is copying the new. Because it's very hard to create the awareness that it's still the old system that is playing. You know, all these things is that we checked this and we do this, but we do this, we do this. I don't know, we do Scrum, we do Kanban, we do, but in the same time, we want to plan, we do the same steering committees, we let things emerge, but you need to report to me and do planning. So this is one of the most difficult to cope with as a resistance, because is a resistance hidden into an row. I don't know if that makes sense to you. How does it work for you?
Okay, absolutely, and I think I also was facing such situations when the old system was mimicking the new one, like they are working a new way, agile and so on, but actually they are doing waterfalling, and they asking to still to provide the same reporting and so on. So, yeah.
Exactly. I think,
thanks.
I think that's the trickiest thing. It's to create the awareness that this is a form of resistance, not a form of adopting the new, and doing so with compassion. I mean, without blaming. This is very important. Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'm checking the Q&A poll, and yeah. Okay, I see a question by Ausra. How to change the perspective and remain positive? What would be your suggestions?
Okay, so how to change the perspective and remain... Actually, my first reaction would be a new question. Why changing perspective is automatically, what I hear is that behind is that if you change perspective, the first reaction will be to become negative. So I would have the question, why is that? Changing perspective doesn't mean to be negative. Oh, now, so I'm just opening this, but we can't have the dialogue. What I understand is that changing perspective means letting go of something, and it's renouncing, and it's a way to let something die, and this can create sadness. My answer to that, but that's an assumption that I'm doing. My invitation to that is that if we change perspective, other opportunities can be seen. So we can stay positive by redirecting our energy to see what are those new opportunities. Does that make sense?
I do hope so, at least for myself. I really accept that. We still have 2 questions. Let's see if we will manage. So considering all said, what would be your what you recommend in terms of agile transformation? All time managers being afraid to give up power.
Okay, so yeah, absolutely. Managers are afraid to give up their power, and that is what I call the work of hospicing. And what I recommend is to I'm personally coaching them on a personal level, seeing what are their aspirations, because if they are managers, I'm a positive person. It means that if they've got in that position, they have some qualities. So I'd want to put some light on what their qualities, what are their aspirations, and also help them connect with other managers and see what are their struggles today. You know, create that this there's a method that I'm using that is co-development, which are the groups of people see themselves get together once a month, for example, and they support themselves. Like one day, some of them gives a problem, and the other 4 there's a protocol in it. So I won't do any details here. The others support him, listen to him, and try to see the solution. And then the next month, some other has a problem, and the other try to bring the solution. And this is a way to feel that they are not alone. And I'm facilitating those groups, for example. You can also use I was in a breakout room, and as Susan mentioned, Lean Coffee. managers can do lean coffee among them with a facilitator, and they might not. I don't think people resist to change. People resist to be changed. What is important is see what is the value in the new system for them, and I'm pretty sure there is one. Does that make sense?
It's yeah, interesting insights. Thanks, Oana. And yeah, we are already on the break time schedule, but okay. I think so. Who wants to leave? And please, yeah, you can do so. But let's take the last question.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
so yeah. So could you share an example of compassion for the old system? It seems to be a delicate task to do.
It is a very delicate task to do, and for me, the compassion for the old system is to have these conversations. For me, is the other coaching sessions is that to understand why the dominant system is important for those people that resist. This is for me an example of compassion, is have that empathy, create an empathy walk with them. So what actually it's called a compassionate and empathy is that I am listening to those people and I understand what they're going through. And the compassion is also to have this, how can I have the commitment? Yeah, that was the word I wanted to find. Have the commitment to help them. This is what compassionate means. It means listening and commitment to help them to go through toward the new way. Let me know if that makes sense as an answer, or there's anything else. I
don't know how to ask, but for me, it actually raised new questions.
Okay.
But we really are run out of our time.
Okay.
So thanks, Oana, for the presentation.